Well, fancy seeing you again. Remember in my last video how I talked about now the Bulls have another roster slot open. It could be a little while before we find out who that is. It could take a couple weeks. Yeah, forget I said any of that. Also, forget I said anything about Alize Johnson being redundant, because Alize Johnson is a Chicago Bull. I am Ross. This is Arturis Fan Club, and you should be subscribed. You want to know why? Because this is the third video I've made today. I made the video this morning about Stanley Johnson. Then guess what? The news came down as I finished uploading the video that the Bulls signed Alize Johnson. So what did I do? I got on live. I got on live for 45 minutes. That's another video. And now I'm making a full-length video about Alize Johnson. We'll keep it kind of brief, but so much is going on right now, and it's Labor Day. I'm supposed to be relaxing. I'm supposed to be taking a day to reflect on my contribution to the American workforce. Instead, I'm right there with AK and Mark Eversley. No days off. We're busy on Labor Day. They're busy on Labor Day, so I'm busy on Labor Day. And you should join the Arturis Super Fan Club, because I am going to do a deep dive on Alize Johnson and his offensive impact and, defensive impact, which has been written about at length. But a lot of things to be excited about with Alize Johnson. $4.99 a month to join the Super Fan Club and gain access to that exclusive video and more once it's out. Early access to videos, exclusive ways to communicate with me, behind the scenes content, all kinds of really cool perks. The link for that is in the description. $4.99 a month supports me directly and helps me make more of this content so that I could eventually do this full time. So thank you guys again. ArturisFanClub.com/shop if you want to shop merch. There's shirts, mugs, tumblers, all kinds of really cool stuff. And you guys know the drill. Subscribe if you're new, like the video if you like it, dislike the video if you don't like it, man. Just tell me how you feel. I can take it. I'm a big kid. I can handle the criticism. So, Alize Johnson is a Chicago Bull, and like I said, I won't make this too long-winded, because I did in the last video, which I would strongly consider go watch that, because I talked at length about Billy Donovan's flexibility with the lineup now, being able to to mix and match rather offense and defense based on situations, staggering minutes to get guys rest, but also to put guys in positions to succeed. So there's a lot of really great content that I'm not just gonna regurgitate. Go watch that video. It's a really good one. Just ignore the part where I'm like, well, where's the next roster gonna go? So now we know where the next roster spot's going to go. It's going to go to Alize Johnson, who is a guy that I have wanted for a long time, ever since we knew that the Nets could possibly be parting with him. They did end up parting with him. The Bulls signed him to a $3.6 million deal for 2 years. A young up-and-coming player who is a fantastic rebounder and a master of the push shot, as my guy Bulls Dynasty at MV Paw on Twitter pointed out. He had a really funny quote. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. He uses almost exclusively push shots, and he's one of the best players in the NBA at doing it. If you're not familiar with the push shot, it's when you stop in the lane, grab the ball with both hands, feet planted on the ground, you go straight up, shoot the ball with one hand. It's kind of like a stationary floater. And then you come straight back down to the ground. Kawhi Leonard uses it a lot. There's a couple guys, like John Wall used to use it a lot back in the day. Derrick Rose even used it for a little bit. So it's a very popular way for guys who maybe are not the most athletic to shoot over defenders instead of going right through them or over them. So it's a really good shot that he has mastered, as Bulls Dynasty pointed out, and a very funny quote to boot. So thank you for that. I appreciate the way that's worded is very appropriate, I would say. And Alize Johnson is somewhat of, I don't want to say a one-note player, but he is lacking in some regards. He is definitely playing a four role that is a power forward role, a four role that is going to be predicated around high energy, rebound, loose balls, and defense. And that's pretty much what we're going to ask him to do. He's not much of a passer or a ball handler, has had problems turning the ball over in the past. Not much of a shooter, has had trouble shooting, not much of a threat from range, obviously. So those are the things that, we're not going to see from him. But once again, and this is another thing I talked about in my last video, we're talking about a guy who is the 15th contract on the roster. the 15th guy signed to the roster. We are not asking him to be one of our heaviest contributors. We're not asking him to be a Zach LaVine, a DeMar DeRozan, Alonzo Ball, or a Patrick Williams. We're not even asking him to be a Troy Brown Jr. or a Tony Bradley or an Alex Caruso. We're asking him to man the third line here is what we're at. The third line of reserves to bring in whenever we call upon him, high energy, and just do the job that you're good at, do the things that you're good at. And we will continue to develop his talent within this organization and maybe add new aspects to his game eventually. That the joke is that he looks like Lamar Butler, a cross between Lamar Jackson and Jimmy Butler. Just kind of, it's scarily appropriate. He kind of does. But, we saw with Jimmy Butler, a guy who came into the league as a very one-dimensional player who then developed different aspects of his game. I don't know if Alize Johnson will be that kind of player. But he is still young to the point that I feel like there are pieces to his game to unlock. Playing with a team like he was with the Nets last season, playing with a team like the Nets enabled him to just relax and do his job. When he was with the Pacers before that, it was a little bit different. Because that team was not as good. He was asked to do more. Now he's being asked to do less. There's not as much pressure on him to develop so quickly. And also he'll be surrounded by players who will make his job easier. Guys like Tony Bradley, who I mentioned already, who is a good interior defender, will give him opportunities to grab rebounds. Guys like Alex Caruso, who's a great point of attack defender, who will funnel players towards him in the lane, give him opportunities to block some shots. And once again, playmakers like DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, even Alex Caruso, Kobe White, guys who can, Nikola Vucevic, I'm forgetting some, there's so many, guys who can get him the ball in the lane and let him work the way that he feels comfortable working near the basket. So a lot to feel really good about with Alize Johnson, a guy that Kevin Durant really loved. There was a quote about how much Kevin Durant liked having him on his team. The kind of player that stars like having on their teams because they do the little things. They do the nitty gritty things that allow the stars to do the superstar things, right? So like not diving on the floor for every loose ball, exerting a certain amount of energy when they're on the court that allows your superstars to then flourish, get hot, get their shots where they need them. That was a problem with Zach LaVine, was like he was doing so much that he just did not have the energy to do everything. And now I think you're going to see Zach LaVine improve his defense because he'll have more energy because he has guys who are able to do some of these other things. I think you'll see with Nikola Vucevic, same thing. Like he'll have more energy. He'll have more ability to hit those pick and pop shots because he's not going to have to play so many minutes, or at least he's not going to be relied upon to be the guy making all those shots in so many minutes or getting all those rebounds in so many minutes. You have guys who can do those things now. And like Alize Johnson, I don't want it to be overlooked. Like he's a very, very good rebounder. He uses his wingspan very well. He's an intelligent player. And when he's around the basket, he just seems to find the ball. On defense and then on offense, when he's around the basket, he finds a way to get the ball in the hoop. Definitely encourage you guys to go watch some of his highlights. And like I said, I'm going to do a deep dive on his film for the Super Fan Club here very soon. I'm excited to do that now that he is officially on the Bulls. Like I had considered doing it even if we weren't going to sign him or even if we hadn't signed him yet. But now that we have, I'm really excited to do that and show you guys what makes me so excited about Alize Johnson so you guys can feel the same way. So thank you guys for sitting here for another video. I think I covered most of my initial thoughts, recap, reaction as it happens. But definitely, if you want, check out the live video for like the live reaction as it was happening, which was a lot of fun. I answered some good questions in that one, and we're going to do more live streams coming up very soon. So to recap, $4.99 a month for the Super Fan Club. Merch shop is open if you want to support me directly. And I have more videos coming soon about Alize Johnson for the Super Fan Club and more videos coming for the main channel about some of the recent moves the Bulls have made and how that will affect the team next season. I'm going to do a dive on DeMar DeRozan and how his playmaking and scoring on offense will help Zach LaVine flourish and potentially become an even better player than he already is. So really excited to share those things with you guys. But for now, we will talk very soon.